Hello lovelies, we're in the middle of winter and soon it'll feel like January 87th. So today we're covering 5 absolute genius layering hacks that are gonna really help elevate your looks and help you look chic, and not to mention stay warm. For the first layering hack, I want you to focus on 3 different items that are gonna serve to manipulate and help provide contrast, warmth, texture, and also proportion as we layer our different outfits. Number 1, a simple white t-shirt. 2, a turtleneck, and number 3, a mesh top. Let's start with the white t-shirt because we all have one. This is one of my favorite pieces to wear underneath a sweater, in particular a crew neck or a v-neck sweater. The v-neck sweater is having a really huge comeback this year, and so if you already have one in your closet, make sure that it comes up front and center. But the classic crew neck is always such a beautiful wardrobe staple that will never let you down, never goes out of style. A great way to have that white t-shirt pop out even more is to wear it backwards, because the back of the t-shirts tend to be a little bit higher than the front, typical crew neck. And so when you flip it around, it automatically is gonna go a little bit higher, so it's not gonna compete so much with the natural outline of a crew neck sweater, and is going to give you even a little bit more of a pop than usual. So that is one of my favorite hacks when I want to really emphasize that layering piece. And as I mentioned, the v-neck is poised for a comeback. We've seen already hints of it with top design houses like Prada, and even the Row with the Isadora sweater that is basically sold out everywhere. These are some indicators that you're gonna start to kind of see the v-neck kind of trickling down into other brands and retailers. And the best part is that many of us have one, or we can kind of recreate it with a cardigan like this one that I'm wearing here. One of my favorite ways to wear a v-neck is not just with a t-shirt like the crew neck sweater that I think looks so chic, but with an actual turtleneck like I'm wearing here. This turtleneck is one of my favorite bases for almost anything. It's by Aritzia. I got it in 2019 and have worn it so much. It should be in pieces, but it's not. It's still going strong. It's very buttery soft. And one of the reasons that I really love the way the turtleneck looks on outfits is because it really helps elongate the look. It doesn't cut off the neckline. It helps play a little bit with proportion, lengthen up at the neck. And then also, if you choose a color that is the same as your bottoms, and even if you layer on something like this, it helps elongate your look because it tricks the eye into thinking that you are longer than you are. Sandwich rule is a stylist tool that many of us use to help a look appear cohesive, and this can be done with proportion and color as well. In this example, this top and the jeans would be the bread, and then this would be the meat of the outfit, where this is the same color, the meat is a different color, and then the other piece of bread is the same color as the top piece of bread. So that's a way to think of the sandwich rule, and it works really well, especially when you are working with 2 primary colors, into having the look more polished and cohesive. A quick note about turtlenecks: a more modern way of styling this is by flipping the turtleneck in versus out. And I think the reason that many of us like this styling is because it kind of smooths everything out and doesn't break the line. If you're a little bit on the fence about turtlenecks, I would suggest that you start with a mock neck. Love this one by Goelia. A little bit of a stretchy material. It's kind of like a gateway sheer material where you're not super exposed, but it does kind of have that beautiful gauzy and boho chic vibe that is so relevant this year. So wearing this top underneath a cardigan can really help provide that dimension and texture change that we all crave when it comes to layering, and having that sheer top underneath can really help provide that dimension. Not to mention, like, once you're in somewhere, like if you're out date night and you're wearing a cardigan and you're wearing the blazer and all the things, then maybe you can kind of take off some of those layers, have that beautiful sheer top really shine through with some beautiful accessories, not feel so stuck in like the winter doldrums where you're just feeling like you're always like covered in a blanket. And speaking of beautiful accessories, this leads me to my next layering point. As much as I always recommend that you try to look for those pieces of jewelry to wear with every outfit, no matter how simple, especially when it's very, very basic, winter you have to be careful because number 1, it's easy to lose pieces when you have so much stuff on. When you have gloves, scarves, hats, and then you have a couple of sweaters, a blazer, and a top coat, and then you're kind of taking everything off once you get somewhere. It's really easy to lose bracelets. It's easy to lose earrings. I've had earrings kind of like when I take the scarf off, it comes off with the scarf. Really great time of year to lose some of those pieces that we treasure. Like these bracelets, it's gonna take a lot for me to lose these. That's why I wear them a lot. And also, by the way, I'm sorry about my voice. I'm getting over pneumonia, which crushed me through the holidays. Like I slept for a week. It was really sad. I like missed Christmas. Something like this or a watch is not going to come off once you take something off. And likewise, thinking about your earrings and maybe making sure they're like screw tops that aren't gonna just like, you know, pop off when you take your scarf or your hat off. If you live somewhere north like me, I live in upstate New York, and I would love to hear where you're from. It's always so fun to get to know you, and it really helps me create better content because I get a visual of like where I can picture you. When you're thinking about scarves, not only are they necessary and they're also a great way to look super stylish, but you kind of just want to figure out a very basic way or two to tie it. Don't just like drape it over, but be intentional. Pop up a couple of things here on the screen. So have some shorts dedicated to scarf tying as well that I'll link below. But you want to just figure out one thing that works for you that you don't have to like crack your brain and all the things, but that just helps make your outfit look more put together. And that will kind of make you look forward to wearing a scarf. It just won't kind of like be in no man's land and just kind of, you know, dragging. There are so many beautiful hat trends going on right now that I encourage you to step out of your beanie habit and look to these gorgeous hats that are out right now, like the pillbox hats. This one I'm underwhelmed with. I'm definitely shopping for one that is a little bit bigger than this one. I got this one on Amazon. I kind of just wanted to see how I felt about it in general. And I think it looks really elegant and some, especially like with my hair back. I think I could really get into this. Let me know what you think about this. Also, newsboy hats are so chic. They're comfortable. They can be very warm as well, depending on the material. And then of course, bucket hats, faux fur hats. We've seen them all, and there's something for everybody going to elevate your look. Along with hats, gloves are also having a big moment, and this is because elegance is front and center this season. There's so many different tools that we can use to really help achieve this look, and the hats and the gloves are one of them. I've never seen such a huge variety of gloves, whether it's like fingerless. There's some here by Apparees that I absolutely love, and they're in my cart. I haven't gotten them yet because I feel like I was in denial about winter, but maybe I'm ready now. And so the fingers come out, which is key because I'm always on my phone. Because remember, when we're outside, most people don't see our outfit. They just see our layers, our gloves, our hat, our coat, our shoes. So that's just something to keep in mind. The other thing they see is your handbag, and handbags are having a big layering moment with scarves wrapped all around, charms, customization. So not just having the bag that everybody has, but having the bag be very personal to you, whether that's like your initials or something that speaks to you, like your activities and hobbies. The scarf accent has never been bigger than right now. And the other quick hack to know, if you're struggling with the existential crisis that is wearing a huge chunky jacket and a tote, is one thing that you can do is you can just tie the tote handles around like this to create traction so that when you hang it on your shoulder, it won't slip and slide. And I actually proved this to myself. My tote bag stayed put. This is a total game changer. The other thing, which this was news to me a couple of years ago, the jackets that have like the actual like buttons that you like can snap off. I thought that was just for decor, but apparently it's to just secure your bag so that it doesn't keep sliding off. Where have I been? Did you know that? I would love to know if you knew that, because I didn't know that. Not a big percentage of my coats and jackets have this, but the ones that do, it's huge. Let's talk about pants layering. This is so overlooked. It's really easy to look frumpy if you get the layering wrong. It's really important to think about pants and boots as layers. You don't want to have competing hemlines with your layers. You don't want to have pants that end somewhere and then the boots kind of come up and they kind of make the pants kind of like bunch up and make you look like sausage casing. Not to mention, it also makes you look shorter as well. So choosing, do I want my pants to go over the shoes, or do I want my boots and shoes to go over my pants? And this is where it becomes important. If you're gonna be wearing a wide leg pant or jeans, then there's a lot of leeway when it comes to bringing something underneath that pants layer and having it drape beautifully, and then you just kind of see that little sliver of shoe at the very bottom. However, if you have the big bulky boots, you're going to be wearing moon boots, which are held its ground. By the way, I've had them for like 3 years. I still wear mine all the time. Can't recommend them enough. They're just so cozy and comfortable. But I digress. If you're going to be picking something like that, or an Ugg boot or a riding boot, which is so popular right now, then you want to wear something a little bit more tapered at the leg. You want to wear skinny jeans, straight leg jeans, leggings, riding pants, thermal leggings, whatever it is, you want to wear something that is going to fit underneath the boot so that the boot and the shoe really shines and that legging kind of takes a back seat. That is a really important consideration when it comes to layering, and just keeping that rule of thumb. Think of your boots and your pants as layers. You can't go wrong. One of them has to go first though. It can't be like competing like this. Speaking of boots and shoes, there's a lot you can do with your layering to stay warmer. In January and Feb, I will be wearing thermal tights. My favorite are by Calzedonia. I will link them here. Then I still wear some really nice wool or cashmere socks, and I wear them over my thermal tights because that is how cold I am. And sometimes I wear my thermal tights underneath my pants as well, and not to mention underneath every single skirt, sweater, dress, slip skirt that you could think of. And by the way, if you want some more kind of like layering and styling hacks of a slip skirt, make sure to check out this video, do's and don'ts of styling a slip skirt, because you can really wear this beautiful piece throughout the winter, especially when you need a break from like the heavy duty cords, wool pants and things. Cashmere socks are going to go a long way. They're from 200 to 300% warmer than regular wool. It's like the first thing to get cold, and if you can keep your feet and your head warm, then you'll be okay. You know, you'll be able to hang. I have to try really hard to get past my preconceived notions of wearing socks with heels and socks with, you know, Mary Janes and things like that. Honestly, when it's cold and I don't want to wear boots anymore, it's really the only way to go. And it's always a very interesting look, and I promise that you're gonna get a lot of compliments. To talk about coat layering, coats are one of my absolute favorite pieces of clothing. One of the things to keep in mind with layering coats is that you have to make kind of a choice when you are investing in a new coat. Do you want it to be kind of like a topper? There's really beautiful kind of like menswear inspired, more of like, think of like a super long oversized blazer that can kind of like fit everything inside. So you're just using that as kind of like a sealer, if you will. But underneath you have turtleneck and your cardigan and a scarf and maybe even another coat before the topper. And a great hack to make this happen for you if you live somewhere really cold is to invest in a thinner, warmer puffer, or even a vest if you don't want like a full jacket underneath. And that's something that I actually learned from my husband, because he's lived in this challenging climate all of his life. Things that I noticed when we started dating is he always had a very thin North Face vest, kind of like quilted puffer that he wore underneath everything. But having that kind of like extra insulator that it's not really visible, it's just there to help you be warm and not get sick and things like that. I mean, to really liberate you from feeling like, oh, I have to wear my big, crazy big puffer that looks ugly or that doesn't match my outfit, right? The thing to keep in mind is if you're not going to do that, but you are wearing something underneath, that many times, and I have so many pictures like this where it's kind of open and then whatever I'm wearing underneath just does not complement the outfit or the coat. I have these kind of midi cardigans that are in no man's land by my knees, that's cutting off the line of my outfit. And I kind of just popped it on because I needed something else underneath, but it wasn't mindful. And I thought nobody was going to be able to see it, but they can. If it's not going to be that investment in a thin puffer, then maybe it's that cropped wool cardigan that you wear underneath the coat that is going to complement, that's not going to compete with the jacket or the look underneath. It's not going to cut off your outfit in a weird line. And since it's sweater season, make sure to check out my How to Style a Sweater in 2025. I'll see you in that video. And if you learned something today, make sure to hit the subscribe button.